Hello, I'm Simone Crawley. I'm the volunteer program manager and the internship program manager at the Dalí Museum. I'm working mainly with museum volunteers and interns at the museum. When we're thinking interns, we're hiring for multiple positions in different departments at the museum, looking for intern applicants from things all the way from curatorial to our visitor experience team. But yeah, a lot of different positions that I get to work with. So, for our internship program, the education background for our top candidates, we are mostly looking for undergraduate and graduate students. We are not looking for a high school level, we're looking for undergrad or graduate or even beginning museum professionals. So, if you graduated with your degree a few years ago, but you're now interested in entering the museum field, that's a possibility as well. So, we welcome all of those different types of candidates. When you're thinking of the types of experiences you'd like to acquire before your graduation that could help you in the future, I always, of course, recommend volunteer opportunities and internship opportunities. I'm lucky that at the museum, those are the two departments that I get to work with. But if you do not have the time to be able to commit to an internship, volunteering is always an amazing way to get a foot into an organization just to learn a little bit more behind the scenes. So, volunteering at the museum is a good way to see if working in a museum could be something that'd be comfortable for you. And then an internship opportunity that, of course, is always an awesome option to get hands on work experience, but also find your own interests and your desires after you graduate, that you get some of the working experience before you're even done with school. When we're looking at our applicants and looking for those top skills, it's interesting because in our museum internship program, again, like I mentioned, we are looking for wide variety of different departments. So, of course, our development team, who's dealing with museum donors, versus our education team that might be thinking how to best educate the second graders coming on a field trip. Those are going to be really different skill sets that we're looking for. What's really important is whatever skill set you have, whatever experience you have, that you are comfortable sharing how to apply those skills. So if you've just had classroom experience and you're applying for a marketing role at the museum, listing that classroom experience, listing the courses that you've taken that have helped you prepare for a role like that is always really important. So, less about these specific skills and more that you are aware of the knowledge and skills that you have and how you plan to apply that knowledge. Number one is kind of basic. It's making sure that you are involved and on top of things. What that might look like is, of course, sending in application materials ahead of time, keeping consistent communication with the hiring team. So, checking in on your application, making sure that everything has been sent in correctly, just showing that this application is something that's important to you and something that you're paying attention to is really just a base level, nice thing to be able to see, to know that you would be taking this experience seriously. Other things that we're looking for, it's always great if an applicant has done a bit of research into the organization itself. So, when we're receiving museum internship applicants, where it's clear that you've done some research into our mission statement, the goals of our organization, that really does make a difference because then we know if we welcome you to our team, you already know the goals that we have. You already know the reason we exist as an organization. So that is a great starting point as well. Finally, I would say the third thing that can really help you stand out as an applicant is, like I was just highlighting before, making sure you know the ways that your skills and your knowledge can be applied. If you've done a research paper on surrealism and you want to share how much you enjoyed that and what it opened in your eyes, the world of surrealism, that's a great connection. If it's something, again, where you only have course experience, listing those courses, the exact projects that you were able to take new skills from. And I would say make sure that you are aware of the own skills that you have and your own knowledge and how you want to apply both of those things in the role that you're looking for. Our internship application process, it begins online. So we have our whole web application process on our museum website, thedalí.org. That's where you'll find information about our internship program and the link to apply. It can also start for you if we see you at an internship fair. So the Dalí Museum likes to visit as many internship fairs in our area as we can to be able to make that in-person connection with students and to share more about our program. So that's another way to get connected with the Dalí for our internship program. But when you're looking at applying, you'll see all of the different requirements for our different internship levels. We offer unpaid and paid internships. All of that information and requirements is listed on our museum website. After your application is submitted, you will be alerted it has been received, all your materials are received, and a date will be shared with you when you'll receive an update. And when you're going through the application process, please feel more than welcome to reach out. After you've submitted your application, you will receive that date that you'll hear back from, but if you have questions, if you want an update, you are more than welcome to send a message our way, and we're happy to share with you. When that deadline draws closer, you'll receive another update regarding your application. And then if you are welcomed into the program, or if we would like to interview you further, you could be invited to an on-site interview at the museum. It could be a virtual interview via Zoom, Teams, over the phone. Those are all different options. And then after you go through the interview process, then a final decision would be delivered your way. But we really try to stay communicative throughout the entire internship application process, so you're never left wondering what's going on. So when we're looking at applications, what makes a resume great and maybe not so great, thinking of just at the basic level, when we're thinking about a resume aesthetic or the cosmetic look of a resume, that does matter a bit. When you open a resume and it's simple, easy to read, and easy to understand, that's really helpful, especially if you're going through tons of resumes. It can make a big difference. If your resume is immediately feeling cluttered, it's hard to find where words are coming from, or there's a lot of different colors or prints, things like that, it can make it just a little bit harder to understand. So even though I, of course, always love showing personal expression, the resume is probably a nice time to keep it simple and keep it easy to understand. Another great resume to me is, again, going all the way back to if you do not have a lot of work experience related to the position you're interested in, that's where I would love to see your course experience. So listing specific courses that you've taken that relate to the internship experience, I'm always happy to see that. It's not always just seeing a major and knowing that you have that base knowledge for a certain subject. It's really nice to see certain courses and highlighting volunteer experience as well. It's always great to not leave that out on your resume, even if it's not directly related to your role. Seeing volunteer experience is always a real positive as well. I work with teens in the summer, so one of our big major projects is resume building because it's a lot of their first resumes. And I teach them all of these things, a simple, nice resume, easy to understand. And working with teens, of course, they do not have a lot of work, school, hands-on experience, so we get a little bit more creative with how they can showcase their skills. So we start really early thinking about the skills and knowledge that you have and how you can showcase it clearly. But really, a resume, I think you're thinking of keeping things simple, easy to understand is always the most helpful, especially if an opportunity has a cover letter in addition or a personal letter. You can really use those opportunities to share your personality and more personal things about yourself too. Things that you will be asked about would be specific to the department that you're applying for. If you are applying with our marketing team, I would expect that you are going to be asked a few marketing-related questions about your work experience, about your course experience, and about your personal interests. Actually, within our internship program, one thing we really pride ourselves on is that we encourage more of an autonomous experience for internships. We really want to focus on your interests and where your career might lead. You will definitely be asked more specific interest questions when you're going through our application process, because we want to make sure that we are able to offer you an internship experience that will really benefit you. So at least our application process will be, in addition to basic experience questions, we'll ask more about your personal interests in the field and where you'd like to see this internship to take you. My recommendation would be, if you're interested in getting hired in the museum field, is focusing on flexibility and the different ways you can apply your skills and knowledge. I entered the museum field in an entry-level position. My background is in art history, and my current role is working directly with museum volunteers and interns. So that is not directly art historically related, but I do get the chance to work with our artwork incredibly often. I get to work with our volunteers learning about our artwork. So I've really found a way to work in the museum field, but I've applied my skills in a different way. I'm not often using my art research skills. I'm more using my interpersonal skills that I've gained through other experiences prior to working at the museum. If you are interested in the museum field, I would focus on all of those different ways you can apply your skill sets to the different areas of a museum, and be ready to be a little bit flexible as you enter the museum field. I want students to know, when they're applying for the Dalí Museum internship program, that we really accept a wide variety of different majors and interests. Even though we are an art museum, it does not mean that you have to have an art degree or be a huge art lover. We have a variety of different roles at the museum where you can find a place that works for you in a really enjoyable working environment. I love that I get to work closely to the artwork, but it doesn't have to be your whole world. I would not put the museum in the art box only. There's a lot of different opportunities available at the Dalí.